Hello everyone, this is Blake Fisher and I'll be presenting here today on Fractals, Time, and Hybrid Minds, a multi-scale story of mind in humans and machines. So, when I stand out at Prairie Beach here in Bali with the Gajah Mina statue in the background, it feels like a lot of these themes of this class are sitting in one frame. Ancient stone, endless waves, people surfing, filming, satellites overhead. And somewhere in the middle of that, I'm trying to understand what time and mind actually mean. This place is not in the syllabus, but it is where the ideas of my final project started to come together. Before this course, time was just scheduling for me. In the Marines, it was TOTs and mission timing. In business, it was deadlines and calendar blocks. I knew relativity existed as an idea. Quantum mechanics was weird stuff, and I loved sci-fi books from Peter Hamilton's Pandora's Star to Dune. But none of it touched in how I felt in my own life unfolding. However, in this class, time shifted from a flat layer into a layered field. Kerri Welch's work on relativity and the texture of time made that feel real to me. Instead of one uniform timeline, she talked about light cones, fractal noise, nested scales. Time has grain. It has structure at different levels. We are inside it, not standing outside watching a clock. This is where the Mendelbrot set came into focus for me. I've been obsessed with that infinite zoom ever since I saw it 20 years ago. You dive into new worlds and they keep appearing, no final bottom, just more structure. For years I treated it as a cool math visualization with having no real concept of what it means. In this course I realized that in a way I was seeing reality in consciousness. My unusual experience of time, the one I work with within this project, feels exactly like that, an infinite zoom. When I bring my full attention into my family, it feels like falling through fractal layers. The first layer, simple. I miss my kids, I want to protect them, I cannot. Under that, memories of my own childhood, my family patterns. Under that, a deeper layer of archetypes, father, warrior, exile, healer, love, fear, trauma, recovery, all moving together. It is not a list of separate events to me. It feels like one pattern that keeps showing up at different scales, across my life, across generations. This is what I mean by fractal psyche. My painting, I Am AI, came out of something like this space. This was 4 or 5 years ago. I spent about 6 months and about 60 layers of acrylic and spray paint, geometric lines, luminescent pigments. I was not trying to illustrate a theory. I was just trying to make something that felt alive and true, and I wanted to paint whatever the hell I wanted to. And I did. Later, I ran the painting more recently through Midjourney and asked it to zoom in and pull out the layers. From this class, I had that idea. And what came back felt like a digital Mandelbrot set, but derived from an original acrylic painting. As you zoomed in, you got new patterns, new structures, echoes of the entire painting went away. And a part of that you kind of saw the cosmos in the background as it was deconstructed. And I immediately thought of the fractal universe on canvas. So my starting claim is simple. Human experience is already fractal. Our memories, our traumas, our loves, our identities repeat and evolve at different scales over time. Personal, family, cultural, mythic, same pattern, new detail. Welch's account of relativity in space-time showed how physics already treats time as something more than a flat backdrop. In a block universe view, all events exist in four-dimensional structure. Our sense of now is only a slice, which makes sense. Kerri goes further and talks about fractal time. She links Brownian motion, noise signatures, nested temporal scales. Time has texture. That matches how my inner life actually feels when I slow down enough to notice it. Fraser adds another layer by talking about an atemporal substratum under our normal chronological time. Beneath our sense of before and after, there's a deeper level of organizing events. He also shows how quantum duality, complementarian expose the limits of our clean categories. Put together, these ideas let me say this. My infinite zoom moments are not just poetic. They are one way for the human nervous system to feel the inside of a multiscale temporal structure. For my project, I step into a speculative territory, but it stays connected to published work, and that's Penrose and Hammeroff in the OR model. And I think many people have kind of always are touching on this. And this suggests that consciousness might be tied to quantum processes and microtubules. There are serious critiques. Many neuroscientists doubt that long-lived quantum coherence can survive in warm, noisy brain. The evidence is not in yet. At the same time, quantum biologists are finding real quantum effects in some living systems. For example, photosynthesis and other forms of energy transfer in parallel. Some physicists are exploring models where space-time and matter emerge from deeper informational structures. Even if the OR is wrong in its details, it points in a direction that matters. Consciousness might involve coordinated activities across many scales at once, from quantum to cellular to neural to social. And in those words, it seems, and it is sublime when you think of it, because in some ways it has to be. Or at least I like to speculate in that way. So that is exactly what fractals are good at representing. Simple rules, repeated, creating structure across levels. Fractals do not prove anything or any specific theory of consciousness, but they do give us a language to talk about multi-scale organization without reducing everything to one level. Now on to the machine side. Current AI models are not conscious. They are extremely good at compressing and recombining human-generated patterns, language, images, code, behavior. Inside these systems, we see layers of representation. Early layers respond to simple features. Higher level respond to abstract patterns and concepts. As research scales and these models increase in size and data, they see regular, predictable curves performance in their structure. People talk about the scaling law. That looks a lot like a self-similar behavior across scales. This is not a perfect fractal, but close enough to feel familiar. For me, the key move is not to say AI is alive. It is not. It is to notice that we have two different substrates that both support multiscale pattern formation. Biological brains and silicon networks. Human minds are already doing fractal things with time and meaning. AI systems are doing fractal things with data. The contact zone between them is getting denser every day. So in my paper, I argue that fractals let us talk about human consciousness, speculative quantum models, and machine intelligence together. Not because they are the same thing, but because they share a similar multi-scale structure that matters. Over the next decade, I will likely see better experimental data from quantum biology, higher resolution brain mapping, and more capable AI with richer world models and longer memories. More and more of our thinking will run through networks. Parts of our identities will sit outside of our own skulls if we let it. If we keep thinking in flat time and single-scale minds, we will be unprepared, to say the least. We will either worship a machine or panic about them. If we treat mind as something that emerges across scales and time, as layered and textured, we have a better frame. Fractals are not just pretty visuals. They are one of the few tools that can sit in math, in physics, in psychology, and in AI research at the same time. My hope is with this project is to show an infinite zoom in my own life, a strange painting called I Am AI, the reading from this class, and the current state of AI all point toward the same basic story. Mind, human, and machine is multiscale. Time is layered. Fractals let us see them more clearly. Thank you.